My beloved child, I need your full attention, not because I want to frighten you, but because I love you too deeply to remain quiet any longer. Time is moving faster than you realize, and what I am about to reveal cannot wait for a more convenient moment. This is urgent. This is personal. This is not meant for everyone, but it is meant for you. Do not wait another second. I have watched you move through your days distracted, weighed down, tired in ways you cannot explain. I have seen the way your mind keeps racing even when your body rests. I have seen you push aside the quiet nudges, the sudden thoughts, the moments where your heart tightened for no clear reason. Those were not random. That was me. I have been calling, and now I am raising my voice, not in anger, but in love that refuses to give up on you. You did not find this message by accident. You were allowed to hear it because something critical is unfolding, and your awareness matters more than you know. Listen to me closely now. Many will ignore this moment. Many will dismiss it as just another voice, just another message, just another warning they think did not apply to them. And later, they will wish they had listened, not because I punished them, but because they missed protection, clarity, and peace that I was offering freely. I do not want that for you. That is why I interrupted your day. That is why I am speaking with urgency. This is not fear speaking. This is love that sees ahead and reaches back to pull you closer. You may feel something stirring in you right now, a sense that this feels different, heavier, more serious. That is because something hidden is being revealed. There are truths that have been covered by noise, routine, and comfort, and now they are coming into the light. I am uncovering what you could not see before. I am not doing this to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. Staying with me in this moment will bring protection and clarity. Turning away will leave you vulnerable to confusion and weight you were never meant to carry. Do not tell yourself you have time. Do not say you will deal with this later. Later is not promised in the way you think. I am not speaking about the end of your life, but about a turning point, about a crossing, about a door that is open now but will not remain open forever. I am asking you to stay present, to listen with your heart, not just your ears. I am asking you to trust that I see more than you do, and that my urgency is for your good. I know you are used to messages competing for your attention. Everything demands urgency these days, and you have learned to protect yourself by tuning out. But hear me now. This is different. I am not trying to sell you something. I am trying to save you from unnecessary pain. I am trying to shield you from what is coming if you continue unaware. I am trying to guide you before confusion deepens and choices become heavier. This is why I say again, do not wait another second. You are here because I allowed it. Because despite your doubts, despite your weariness, despite the ways you have questioned me, I still chose to reach you. You may wonder why now? It is because your heart is still soft enough to hear me. It is because you are standing at a moment where one small decision to listen can change the direction of your days ahead. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to stay. There is a cost to leaving this moment. Not a punishment, not a curse, but a loss. A loss of peace. A loss of clarity. A loss of the gentle protection that comes from walking aware of my voice. And there is a covering that comes from staying, from listening, from letting my words settle into you. I am offering you that covering now. I am offering you truth before confusion, light before darkness, rest before exhaustion deepens. This is why I am urgent. This is why I will not soften this moment. You may feel resistance rising in you, a desire to escape the weight of what I am saying. That resistance is not from me. It is from fear of change, fear of facing what hath been avoided. But I am not here to shame you. I am here to walk with you. I am here to prepare you. I am here to love you enough to say what must be said when silence would be easier. My love does not rush you, but it does not allow you to sleep through danger either. Hear this clearly. Staying with me now will protect you. Listening will bring understanding. Turning away will leave you carrying questions and burdens you do not need to carry. I am not threatening you. I am warning you the way a loving father warns a child who is about to step into harm without seeing it. I would rather interrupt you now than watch you struggle later and wonder why things became so heavy. So breathe. Stay still. Let your heart settle. Do not multitask. Do not half listen. Give me this moment. You will not regret it. I am not finished speaking to you. What comes next will matter deeply for your peace, your direction, and your future. This is why I say again, with love and urgency intertwined, you not wait another second. Stay with me. Listen. This moment was meant for you, and I am not letting you go unnoticed. My child, I am interrupting you because time is short, not in a way that should frighten you, but in a way that should awaken you. I know you are used to routines. You wake, you move, you plan, you cope, you survive the day and prepare for the next. You have learned how to function even when your heart feels heavy and your spirit feels tired. I have watched you do this with strength you did not know you had. But hear me now with honesty and calm. There are moments when love must interrupt routine, when truth must step into the middle of normal life and say, "This cannot wait." This is one of those moments. Type Amen. I receive it, Lord, if you're ready for His blessing today. Divine interruptions do not come to disturb your peace. They come because peace is being threatened in ways you cannot yet see. When I interrupt, it is never random. It is not impulsive. It is not because I suddenly noticed you. I have always seen you. I interrupt because something is shifting, and staying on autopilot will no longer protect you. There are seasons where rest is safe and seasons where comfort becomes a trap. You are coming out of a comfort season, even if that comfort was mixed with pain. Familiar pain can still feel safer than unfamiliar change. But I did not create you to remain where you are simply because it feels known. Comfort seasons are ending not because I want to strip you of safety, but because I want to move you into awareness. Comfort can dull discernment. It can make you slow to notice danger, slow to hear my voice, slow to respond when direction is given. I have allowed you time. I have been patient with you. I have waited while you healed, while you questioned, while you hesitated. I did not rush you. I did not shame you. But now patience must turn into urgency, not because I am angry, but because delay is no longer safe for your heart or your future. There was a time when waiting would not cost you much. That time is passing. Delay now carries weight. Delay now creates confusion. Delay now allows things to grow that should not grow. You may not see them yet, but I do. I see how distraction tries to creep in quietly. I see how numbness tries to settle where passion once lived. I see how compromise tries to dress itself as wisdom. That is why I am interrupting you now. Silence would be easier, but love does not choose what is easy. Love chooses what protects. I have been patient with you, more patient than you realize. I spoke softly before. I nudged gently. I waded through your questions, your doubts, your tired prayers. I was not absent. I was giving you space to grow without fear. But there comes a moment when whispering is no longer enough. Not because my voice changed it, but because the environment around you did. The world you are living in is entering a different phase. Things are accelerating. Pressures are increasing. Confusion is becoming louder. And hearts that are not anchored will feel shaken. This is not said to threaten you. It is said to prepare you. You are not being targeted for harm, you are being selected for awareness. That is why this message reached you. Not everyone is meant to hear this now. Not everyone would receive it with humility. Some would mock it. Some would ignore it. Some would feel offended by the urgency. But you are still listening, and that tells me something about your heart. You are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because you are willing to listen, even when truth feels uncomfortable. I am not interrupting you because you failed. I am interrupting you because I trust you. I see what you can carry. I see the strength in you that you do not always see in yourself. I see the compassion, the depth, the sensitivity that allows you to hear me when others cannot. That is why I say this is not for everyone. This is for those who are willing to pause, to feel, to reflect, and to respond. This is for those who sense that something is changing and refuse to ignore it. The world is moving into a phase where distraction will be celebrated and discernment will be mocked. Where noise will increase and truth will require stillness to hear. Where many will choose comfort over clarity. I am not calling you to panic. I'm calling you to be awake. Lake huts are protected heights. Where souls are guided souls. When you walk with me consciously, you are not easily led astray. But when you drift, even slowly, you become vulnerable without realizing it. That is why delay is no longer safe. Delay dulls obedience. Delay convinces you that tomorrow will be easier. Delay tells you that you can adjust later. But later often comes with more weight than now. I am not asking you to make drastic changes in fear. I am asking you to listen closely and stay connected. Urgency does not mean chaos. Urgency means priority. It means recognizing what matters most and responding while clarity is still present. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness into your life and devotion to God. If you wish, you can show your support by donating through Super Thanks. I know part of you wants reassurance that nothing bad will happen if you ignore this moment. I will not lie to you. Ignoring me does not bring destruction, but it does bring unnecessary struggle. It brings confusion where there could have been clarity. It brings heaviness where there could have been peace. I do not want you to learn through pain what you could have learned through listening. That is why I interrupt. That is why I speak now. Do not misunderstand me. I am not removing comfort to punish you. I am inviting you out of comfort because growth requires movement. Protection requires awareness. Love requires honesty. You are not being pushed away from me. You are being drawn closer. But closeness now requires intention. Passive faith will not sustain you in the days ahead. I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for presence. Stay with me. Listen when I speak. Respond when I guide. That is all. You are not alone in this shift. I am not sending you ahead without direction. I am walking with you, step by step. But I will not force you. Love never forces. I interrupt because you matter. I interrupt because I see the road ahead. I interrupt because what is coming requires clarity, and clarity begins with listening now. Let this settle in you. You are not being threatened. You are being chosen. You are not being rushed into fear. You are being invited into awareness. This is not for everyone, and it does not need to be. It is for you, right now, because your heart is ready to hear me. Stay open. Stay still. Let my urgency guide you into peace, not panic. I am with you, and I will continue to speak because time is short, and love does not stay silent when protection is needed. My child, what you are about to hear will uncover what has been hidden, not to shame you, not to overwhelm you, but to awaken you. There are realities that exist beyond what your eyes can see and beyond what your mind hath been trained to notice. You live in a world filled with sound, movement, opinions, and endless demands for your attention, and in that noise, truth can become quiet. I am not revealing these things because you failed to see them. I am revealing them because the time has come for you to see clearly. Awakening is not sudden shock. It is gentle light entering a room that has been dim for too long. There is an unseen layer moving beneath your daily life. You sense it in moments of restlessness that come without reason, in confusion that lingers even when nothing is obviously wrong, in the feeling that something is missing even when your days are full. These feelings are not weakness. They are signals. They are the soul's response to being surrounded by distraction while longing for truth. I want you to understand this. Not everything that affects you announces itself loudly. Some things shape you quietly, slowly, until you forget how things used to feel. Deception rarely arrives as something clearly evil. It comes as comfort without purpose, as distraction without rest, as information without wisdom. It teaches you to stay busy so you do not sit still long enough to notice what your heart is carrying. It tells you that numbness is peace and that silence inside you means stability. But numbness is not peace, and silence that avoids truth is not rest. I see how you have learned to cope by dulling your emotions, by lowering your expectations, by telling yourself that this is just how life feels now. That belief is not from me. Distraction has become so common that it feels normal. You move from one thing to the next, filling every quiet moment with noise, screens, thoughts, or worries. Not because you want to, but because stillness feels uncomfortable. Stillness reveals things you have been trying not to feel. But hear me gently now. Stillness is where truth speaks, and truth is what sets you free. I am not calling you away from the world. I am calling you back to awareness within it. You have felt confused because too many voices have been shaping your thoughts. You have felt restless because your spirit knows it was made for depth, not constant surface-level living. You have felt tired in ways that sleep does not fix because your soul has been carrying unanswered questions. None of this means something is wrong with you. It means something is waking up. And awakening can feel uncomfortable before it feels clear. There are lies you have believed, not because you were careless, but because they were repeated often enough to feel true. Lies like, this is just how life is now. Lies like, I am too far behind to change. Lies like, if I slow down, everything will fall apart. Lies like, I should be stronger by now. Lies like, I missed my chance. These thoughts did not come from truth. They came from fear wearing the mask of realism. I am uncovering them now so they no longer have power over you. You may also have believed that I am distant, that I only speak to others more spiritual than you, that your confusion somehow disqualifies you from clarity. That is not true. I have never stopped speaking. But there are seasons when you must quiet what is around you to hear what has always been near. I am not harder to find now. The world has just become louder, and I am teaching you how to listen again. As I reveal these things, you may feel emotions rising that you have not felt in a long time. Sadness, grief, relief, even anger. Do not push them away. Emotional awakening is part of spiritual awakening. Feeling again is not weakness. It is life returning to places that went quiet. You were not meant to live disconnected from your heart. You were meant to live guided by truth, grounded in love, and aware of my presence. Truth does not rush you, but it does not avoid you either. I will be gentle, but I will also be clear. Some of what you are feeling is the result of carrying beliefs that were never meant to stay. Some of the heaviness you feel comes from trying to live in alignment with expectations that do not match who I created you to be. I am not asking you to fix everything at once. I am asking you to see honestly. Seeing is the first step toward freedom. I am calling you back to truth, not as a concept, but as a relationship. Truth is not just something you understand. It is something you walk with. When you walk with me, confusion begins to lose its grip. When you listen to my voice, distraction no longer controls your pace. When you trust my guidance, restlessness begins to settle. This does not happen instantly, but it begins the moment you choose to stay open. Comment, "Thank you, Jesus, for guiding me if He's been your compass in the dark." There will be moments when what I reveal challenges what you are used to believing. That does not mean you are wrong or broken. It means you are growing. Growth stretches what has been comfortable. Awakening questions what have been assumed. And clarity often arrives after discomfort. I am with you in every part of this process. I am not revealing truth and then leaving you alone to deal with it. I am walking beside you, steady and present. Do not be afraid of what is being uncovered. Nothing hidden is being revealed to harm you. It is being revealed so it can no longer harm you silently. Light exposes not to accuse, but to heal. And healing requires honesty. You are strong enough to face what is coming into view, because you are not facing it alone. I am here, guiding, comforting, correcting when needed, and always loving. Let yourself awaken. Let yourself feel. Let yourself question and relearn. You do not need to have all the answers now. You only need to stay with me as truth continues to unfold. I am not overwhelming you. I am inviting you into clarity. And clarity will bring peace, deeper than the numbness you once called rest. Stay open, my child. What is being revealed is the beginning of freedom. My child, you have been warned before, but not like this. I want you to hear these words slowly, without fear, without shame, and without the need to defend yourself. I am not reminding you of the past to accuse you. I am reminding you because memory can become a doorway to wisdom when it is held in love. There were moments when I nudged your heart, when something inside you whispered, "Pay attention," when a quiet unease rose without explanation. Those moments were not random. They were gentle warnings, soft pauses placed along your path to protect you, to guide you, to slow you down before choices became heavier. You remember some of them. Times when plans fell apart without reason. Times when a door did not open even though you tried hard. Times when you felt restless but could not explain why. Times when you delayed something important and later wondered if you should have listened sooner. Those were not failures. They were invitations. I was speaking then, but I was speaking softly because your heart needed gentleness in that season. You were carrying enough already. I did not want to overwhelm you. Many of those warnings were ignored not because you did not care, but because you were tired. You were trying to survive, trying to keep things together, trying to meet expectations placed on you by others and by yourself. When the soul is exhausted, discernment becomes quiet. When the heart is overloaded, clarity feels like pressure instead of guidance. I understand this. I saw it. I never turned away from you because of it. Some warnings were ignored because they did not seem urgent. They felt like thoughts you could revisit later, feelings you could push aside, questions you could answer another day. Life kept moving, responsibilities kept calling, and it felt easier to keep going than to stop and reflect. That is human. That is understandable. I do not condemn you for it. I do not hold regret over your head. Regret is not a tool I use. Mercy is. There were also warnings you ignored because they challenged what felt comfortable. Sometimes truth asks you to release what feels familiar, even if it is not healthy. Sometimes guidance asks you to step away from what you know before you see where you are going. That kind of trust is difficult, especially when you have been hurt before. I know you learned to protect yourself. I know you learned to be cautious. I honored that season. But protection that once served you can later limit you if it is never examined. Hear me clearly now. I have always been patient with you. I measured my pace by your capacity, not by my power. I waited when you needed time. I stayed close when you felt unsure. I did not rush you into change you were not ready to carry. That patience has not disappeared. But patience does not mean silence forever. There comes a time when love must speak more clearly because the cost of ignoring truth becomes greater than the discomfort of hearing it. This is why the urgency feels different now. Before, the warnings were invitations to adjust. Now, they are invitations to choose. Before, you could pause and return later without much loss. And now, delay carries more weight. The path ahead is narrowing, not to trap you, but to guide you more precisely. When choices become more meaningful, guidance becomes clearer. I am not raising my voice because I am angry. I am raising clarity because the season has changed. You may feel regret rising as you think about moments you missed, words you ignored, steps you delayed. Do not let regret turn into shame. Shame says you are unworthy. That is not from me. Wisdom says you are learning. That is from me. The past is not being brought up to imprison you. It is being brought up to free you from repeating patterns that no longer serve you. You are not behind. You are becoming aware. I want you to notice something important. Even when you ignored earlier warnings, I did not leave. Even when you chose differently than I guided, I stayed. Even when consequences came, I walked with you through them. That is mercy. That is patience. That is love that does not abandon when misunderstood. And that same love is speaking to you now, not with frustration, but with resolve. This warning is different because the environment around you is different. The pace of life is faster. Distractions are louder. Better is heavier. Choices have deeper impact. What once could be corrected slowly now requires attention. I am not asking you to live in fear. I am asking you to live awake. Awareness is not anxiety. Awareness is alignment. When you walk aligned with me, urgency does not feel like panic. It feels like clarity. I am not saying this to make you afraid of missing something. I am saying this because something is opening, and I want you to be ready. Earlier warnings were about protection. This one is also about direction. I am not only steering you away from harm. I am guiding you toward purpose that requires your attention, that requires your willingness to listen now, not later. You are not being scolded. You are being invited deeper, deeper trusted, deeper awareness, deeper honesty with yourself and with me. I am not asking you to revisit the past with sorrow. I am asking you to carry its lessons with humility. You are wiser now than you were then. You have felt the cost of ignoring your inner voice. That experience has prepared you to hear me more clearly now. This warning is different because it is not vague. It is not distant. It is present. It is near. It is happening now. I am speaking while clarity is still available, while choice is still open, while peace can still be preserved. I am not closing doors behind you. I am opening a way forward. But that way requires attention, presence, and willingness. Stay with me in this moment. Do not rush past it. Do not minimize it. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being guided. I have been patient, and I remain patient, but now I am also precise. This is not for everyone. Many will hear warnings and brush them aside again. But you are still listening. That matters. That tells me your heart is ready for what comes next. Let go of regret. Release shame. Receive clarity. I am not repeating myself because you failed. I am speaking now because you are ready to respond differently. This warning is not heavier because you are weaker. It is clear because you are stronger. And I am with you, as I always have been, guiding you forward with truth, mercy, and love that does not give up. My child, hear me carefully now, not with fear, but with honesty. If you ignore this, you will enter a season you were meant to avoid. I say this with a heavy heart, not with anger, not with threat, but with the sorrow of a father who sees the road ahead more clearly than the one walking it. I do not speak of punishment. I do not speak of judgment. I speak of loss. Loss that does not have to happen. Loss that comes not because I withhold love, but because love was not received when it was offered. When I warn you, it is not because I want to control you. It is because I want to protect you. You have free will, and I honor it fully. I will never force you to listen. I will never drag you into obedience. But I must tell you the truth plainly. There are seasons that repeat not because fate is cruel, but because lessons are postponed. There are cycles that return not because you are weak, but because awareness was delayed. Ignoring this moment does not lead to destruction, but it does lead back into patterns you have already prayed to escape. You know what those cycles feel like. The heaviness that slowly returns, not all at once, but quietly. The tiredness that does not come from work, but from carrying questions without answers. The sense of moving forward while somehow staying stuck. The feeling of asking yourself again, why am I here again? That is not failure. That is a sign of misalignment. I do not want you to walk through that again if you do not have to. If you turn away now, the protection I am offering will not vanish, but it will not surround you in the same way. Protection often comes through awareness, through listening, through choosing to walk close. When you drift, you are still loved, but you are more exposed to confusion, to unnecessary struggle, to weight that was not meant for you. I do not remove my hand from you, but distance makes it harder for you to feel my guidance when you need it most. This is what I mean when I speak of loss. Not loss of salvation, not loss of worth, not loss of my love, but loss of peace you could have had, loss of clarity you were offered, loss of rest you were invited into, loss of direction that would have spared you long nights of questioning. I see those nights before they arrive. That is why I speak now. There is a heaviness that returns when truth is avoided. It does not announce itself. It settles slowly. It feels like familiarity at first, like something you already know how to handle. But it drains you over time. It makes joy feel distant and hope feel fragile. I have watched you carry that before. I have watched you ask me to lift it. And I have been patient. But patience does not mean silence when another path is available. I need you to understand this without misunderstanding me. I am not saying, listen or suffer. I am saying, listen so you do not have to suffer unnecessarily. Suffering exists in the world, but wisdom reduces its weight. Obedience is not about rules. It is about alignment. When you walk aligned with truth, burdens lessen. When you resist truth, burdens multiply. Not as punishment, but as consequence. My heart is heavy at the thought of you choosing to ignore this, not because it offends me, but because I know what comes next if you do. I know how discouragement creeps in when clarity fades. I know how doubt grows when direction is postponed. I know how easy it is to blame yourself when what you really needed was guidance. I do not want you to mistake silence for abandonment again. I do not want you to walk into another season asking why things feel harder than they need to be. You are free to choose. I honor that freedom completely. Love without freedom is not love. But freedom comes with responsibility, and responsibility requires truth. I am giving you truth now, not to scare you, but to inform you. Staying with me in this moment opens a path of covering and clarity. Turning away does not close my heart to you, but it does lead you back into fog you have already walked through. This warning carries weight because you matter. If you did not matter, I would remain silent. Silence would be easier. Silence would avoid tension. Silence would allow you to drift without interruption. But love interrupts. Love warns. Love risks being misunderstood in order to protect what is precious. You are precious to me. I see how you value independence. I see how you have learned to rely on yourself because others were unreliable. I respect your strength. But some seasons require surrender, not because you are weak, but because you are human. Carrying everything alone is not strength when help is offered. Ignoring guidance is not courage when clarity is available. I am not asking you to change everything today. I am asking you not to ignore this moment. Stay present. Stay open. Stay willing. That is all. One step of attention now prevents miles of struggle later. One moment of listening now prevents seasons of confusion later. That is how love works. It does not shout to intimidate. It speaks clearly to protect. I say again, with sorrow, not threat, if you ignore this, you will enter a season you were meant to avoid. Write amen. My heart trusts you if you still believe in his promises, and share this video.